I have 4 questions to ask you. Would you want to have a KDA of 5 or even more? Would you like to be among the 100 best players in the global leaderboard? Would you like to consistently have more than 20,000 Hunt dollars every single prestige? And lastly, would you like to be the best hunter that you possibly can be? Well, if you answered yes to all of those questions, this is the perfect video for you. So welcome everyone to my first ever Hunt Showdown video. I am Nadril, and my main game right now is Hunt Showdown, as you might have guessed. I also stream on Twitch 5 days a week, and you can find a link to my channel in the description down below. Now, what is the video about, you might ask? Well, it's about how you can use various elements of the game's environment to your own advantage. Simple as that. Before we get into it, a small disclaimer. These tactics work best in the EU servers of the game. Why, you ask? You will have to find that out for yourselves. And without further ado, let's crouch walk straight into it. In your search for the optimal bush that you can hide inside, it is really important to have a good look around and spot potential bushes. That one looks kinda good, so let's get closer and see if it can do the job. Remember, always stay crouched when approaching the bush of your choice. There are really just a couple of things that you should consider. One is the height of the bush. This bush is not tall enough, so it's not gonna work. The optimal bush should ideally be thick enough to fit you inside and also allow for some movement. I think we might have such a bush somewhere around here. Oh, wait, there! On the right! Oh, this bush looks amazing. It is tall enough to fully cover us while being crouched, and thick enough to fully hide our body while also allowing for some movement inside. Great, isn't it? Now, if there is any AI close to your bush, you will need to take care of it silently and not let it aggro on you. To sum everything up, this is what we would call the optimal bush. You can freely move inside of it and peek any side that you like for potential threats while being covered with the beautiful, lush green leaves of your fantastic bush. About trees now. They can be very important in your games, as you can definitely use them for cover. Let's take this tree for example. It is nice and big, so you can hide behind it safely without ever exposing any part of your body or gun. Let's pretend for a moment that the emulator back there on the right is an actual player. You would need to position yourself accordingly so that if the enemy starts approaching, you continue being behind cover. In other words, you will need to rotate around the tree. In case the enemy is coming from a totally different direction, you will just have to adjust your rotation and keep yourself covered accordingly. Pretty simple, isn't it? I believe now is the time to talk about bridges. There are a lot of them in the game, both big and small. This one connects Davant Ranch to Pitch and Crematorium, and it is quite a big one. Most of the times, you will want to practice tactical waiting under the bridge. This is simply because you are very hard to spot and you have great cover. While under a bridge, always keep an eye out for water devils. If you get too close to the water, they might aggro and reveal your position. Other than that, you need to heavily focus on your sound in order to spot incoming hunters and the direction they are coming from. Now, there might be some occasions when you will need to be on top of the bridge. You have to be very careful doing that, as in most cases you will be exposed and visible from multiple directions. So, remain crouched and only peek the openings on the side of the bridge fast and from a small distance. What would you say if we had a little talk about horse food? Yes, horse food. You can find stacks of hay like this one all around the map. They can be used as cover and you can hide behind them if you hear someone approaching. You will always want to be certain that the haystacks are tall enough to hide you completely. Otherwise, your head might be visible to the enemy, and we don't want that. Also, you need to rotate around the hay according to the sounds of nearby hunters. So again, sound plays an exceptionally important role, especially since haystacks can be pretty exposed from many sides. The last detail I want to share about haystacks is perhaps the most important one. They are completely bulletproof. Yes, haystacks cannot be penetrated by any bullet in the game. Great, isn't it? Towers. They are actually very nice places to sit inside and practice tactical waiting. There are a lot of towers in the map, and people almost always ignore them, unless they get shot by someone inside a tower. So, we're not going to shoot anyone. The most amazing thing about towers is that they provide a lot of cover on multiple sides. The lower part of towers provides the least cover, but it gives you the option to peek outside better, as it has more open sides than the upper part. Moving on to the actual tower upstairs, I have to say that this is the best option if you want to remain hidden and quiet. There will probably be some windows in there, and you have to make sure that they remain closed at all times. You will be able to hear anyone coming anyway, so who cares about vision? The last part of the environment I want to talk about is bodies of water, deep water in particular. Most people will just run as fast as they can to get out of it, but this is a big mistake. When you sprint in deep water, you make a lot of sound, and you definitely want to avoid that. The best thing you can actually do is crouch walk. Locate the nearest shore and keep crouch walking to it. Keep your ears and your eyes open, and if there is a slightest indication of a nearby hunter, just freeze in place. As soon as you are close to the shore, it would be best if you could find a bush and practice some tactical waiting. So that was it. I really hope you enjoyed the video and you actually learned something from it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like, because part 2 is gonna come soon and you don't want to miss that. Maybe even click on that little bell button on YouTube. I don't know what it does, but maybe you should click it. And don't forget, you can catch me live 5 days a week on Twitch, so drop by there if you want to chat. Again, the link to the channel is on the description down below. That's everything. Take care. See you on the next one.